First question is, what are the name of undesirable plants that are grown amongst the crops? And answer is weeds. Second question is, name one weed. And answer is wild oat. Third question is, name the method applied for weeding. And answer is manual method, chemical method, biological method. Fourth question is, name the chemicals that are used to remove weeds. And the answer is weedicides. Next question is, name a tool which is used for removing weeds and for loosening soil. And the answer is hoe. Sixth question is, what is the process of loosening and turning of the soil cold? And answer is tilling or ploughing. Seventh question is, what are the substances which are added to soil in the form of nutrients called? And answer is manures and fertilizers. Eighth question is, what is the process of supplying water to crops at different intervals is called? And answer is irrigation. Ninth question is, what are the sources of irrigation? And answer is wells, tube wells, ponds, lake, etc. 10th question is, what is the process of separation of grains from chaff called? And answer is winnowing. 11th question is, name two crops belonging to rabi crops. And the answer is pea, gram. 12th question is, name the ideal month of harvesting of rabi crops. And the answer is March, April. 13th question is, name two kharif crops. And the answer is soybean, groundnut. 14th question is, name the ideal month of sowing kharif crops. And the answer is June, July. 15th question is, name any two fertilizers. And the answer is NPK and diamine phosphate. First question is, what is a crop? And the answer is crop is the term used to describe a plant that is grown in the field on a large scale. For examples, cereal crops, wheat crops. Second question is, what do you mean by produce? And the answer is the process. The products obtained from crops are called produce. Third question is, what do you mean by the term agricultural practice? And the answer is agricultural practice are those practices which involve the necessary steps to be taken during production of crops. Fourth question is, explain the term leveling. And the answer is leveling is the process of breaking down the larger lumps of soil and then leveling them by using a leveler. Fifth question is, what are the advantages of leveling? And the answer is the following are the advantages of leveling. Leveling helps to prevent soil erosion caused by wind or air. It helps sowing the seeds uniformly and thus helps the plants to grow uniformly too. It helps in proper irrigation by allowing the water to get distributed uniformly throughout the soil. This question is, what is a plough? And the answer is a plough is an equipment for ploughing. It is mainly made of a wooden shaft called a plough shaft attached to a triangular iron blade called plowshare. Seventh question is, what is a cultivator? And the answer is cultivator is a farm implement used for string or pulverizing the soil from planting crops. Eighth question is, explain the term transplantation. And the answer is some of the crops are first grown in the nurseries and then transferred to the main field. This process is called transplantation. Ninth question is, what are the advantages of manure? And the answer is the following are some advantages of manure. It exchanges water holding capacity of soil. It improves soil quantity. It promotes the growth of soil friendly microbes. It is renewable, biodegradable and eco-friendly. 10th question is, what are weedicides? Give some examples of weedicides. Weedicides are chemicals that are used to remove weeds. Some commonly used weedicides are 2,4-D and metacol. First question is, what do you mean by the term crop? Explain briefly the types of crops. And the answer is crop is the term used to describe a plant that is grown in a field on a large scale. For example, cereal crop, pulses and fruits crops. The crops grown in India can be classified as kharif and rabi. Kharif crops are sown in the rainy season by June, July and are harvested by September, October. Thus, they are also known as summer crops for example, rice, maize, etc. Rabi crops are sown in the winter season in October or November and are harvested by March, April, and thus they are called winter crops. For example, mustard, wheat, potato, etc. Second question is, what is ploughing or tilling? And the answer is state its advantages. And the answer is the process of loosening and turning of the soil is called tilling or plowing. It is done by using a plow. Plow are made of wooden or iron. Following are advantages of plowing or tilling. Plowing loosens the soil and makes it aerated. It helps in mixing organic matter with the soil uniformly. It initiates the growth of natural agents and microorganisms and thus keeps the soil fertile. It increases the water holding capacity of the soil. It helps in easy preparation of root into the soil. Third question is define the term agriculture practices and also state the important steps taken during crop production. The answer is agriculture practices are those practices which involve necessary steps to be taken during production of crop. There are number of steps of crop production which are to be done very carefully to ensure that crops get produced timely. Some of the most important steps taken during crop production are as under: soil preparation, sowing, adding manure to and fertilizer, irrigation, weeding, harvesting, threshing and winnowing, storage of grains. First question is why the depth at which seeds are planted is important. And the answer is if the seed is planted too deep, then it will not get enough sunlight to germinate. If the seed is planted too shallow, then it will not get enough soil to support germination. The depth of sowing seeds is also depends upon the seed size. Second question is why sowing seeds with seed drills is better than broadcasting. And the answer is seed drill sows the seed uniformly at proper distance and depth, whereas broadcasting of seeds scatter them not uniformly to the ground's surface, which are susceptible to be picked up by birds.